So welcome to Pura Speranza's Weaving Stories of Your Well-Being. This series is brought to you by Pura Speranza, and we are a nonprofit organization dedicated to bringing forth consciousness while educating body, mind, and soul in the art of well-being. And we're so excited and just thankful and honored to have our esteemed guest and co-host for this series, Balaka Ghoshal. And she is a writer and a storyteller, and also an eco-friendly and environmental advocate and copywriter for small businesses. And so we know that that's what she does by day, but today we're so excited because she is bringing her unique gifts and sharing her life passion with us here. So Balaka, so thankful that you are with us and co-hosting through the series.
Thank you.
Thank you, Balaka.
Thank you.
Yes.
So happy to be here.
Yes. And when Balaka and I started talking about this series, and were, inspired to create something that would bring stories of well-being for you, we thought that with Valentine's right around the corner, this was the perfect time to introduce this series. So with Valentine's and with any other kind of holiday, but right now, because it's Valentine's Day, we often feel that we have, effects from belief systems that influence us and really impact us, our conditioning of what love is. That's what's coming up for us right now. And, oftentimes we're moving through these spaces with lots of different influences going on around us. But tonight, we want to bring you another aspect, another perspective on infusing love in everydayness and how it grows. And Balaka, I believe you have a story.
Oh, welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. And yes, the everydayness is the key. And we often kind of get sidetracked or enamored with the belief systems that we have. And today, as you were talking, I was reminded of the story of the very rich man who had to teach certain important life learning to his young twins who were like still in their 20s, learning from life, not there yet. And today my story would be about money, because we have a lot of ideas about it, and it kind of works in a way that even that can be applied to life and the things we love. So there was this very rich man who was suddenly told by his doctors that he has an illness which won't give him too much time, maybe just a month or not even that. And he had his two sons, and he wondered, how are they going to handle, how are they going to value, or how am I going to teach so many little things that I had to? So he called his sons at his bedside and said, well, I want you to learn how to build your own wealth, because I have been frugal. I've taught you frugality, but I'm going to donate most of my money out there to charities, but I still want to get you started on your journey of working with money. And said, yes, Father, tell us, what do you want us to do? And he said, well, I have a choice for you to make. My secretary will do whatever you choose from these two options. One is you can have $1 million and then you start building it up. You invest it wisely. And the other one is that every day my office workers will bring you an envelope. It starts with 1 cent on day 1, becomes 2 on day 2, and 4 and 8 and 16. You get it, right? It's doubling every day, but it starts with 1 cent. So whichever one you want, it'll double for a full month, or you have a $1 million right today. So one of the twins, the older of the twins, said, Dad, that's a no-brainer. I mean, $1 million. And you have taught me to be thrifty and wise, and I will do whatever it takes to make it grow. Trust me with it, and I'll make you proud. And yes, I will take the $1 million. And the other brother, and I almost feel tempted to believe they're unidentical twins, you know, because he's a little curious and playful. And he thought, why would Dad give such a choice? Like 1 million today or 1 cent, doubling. And he had faith in his dad. He said, Dad, I will take the other option, starting with 1 cent. And the father smiled at both of them, that loving smile, and said, I trust you that, you know, whatever you have decided, you thought over it. He said, yes. And said, okay, starting from today, you will get just what you plan. All the best. And he wished them well. And outside the room, the older one was like, why did you do that? Why did you take that 1 cent? I mean, he always thought my little brother, you know, he thought he was littler than him, that, you know, doesn't make very wise choices. But the younger one said, don't worry, brother. You are there, and the house is there, everything's there. We're just discovering a new way. Dad must be having a plan. So let's both try 2 different things. Makes sense, right? I said, well, I'm there for you. Just don't worry if you need money. And it started 1 cent, 2, and he was accumulating the previous day's savings, you know, so it's kind of doubling. And the way it goes, I'm just holding it up as an elementary school teacher, that on day 1 and 2, it keeps doubling and he's saving. So it's just 1 cent less than a double, okay? So by day 4, he had 15 cents. Well, the other brother was very worried because by then he had hired a couple of investors. He had rented out a small office, didn't want to take any other resource from his dad, just used his own space. He was paying rent, he was paying these experts, and he was investing. But it wasn't 1 million anymore. It was like a 1 million minus some and minus some and minus some. And his was growing all the way till about day 8. It reached to just about $1.28. So, well, it crossed $1 only, and 1 week has gone by, and the older brother was like, are you sure? Is this a good decision? Maybe we should go to Dad and just tell him that you want to change. He said, no, Dad, just, you know, brother, let's see what's there at the end of this month. And by the day 15, half the month had gone by, and it was at just about 16, can you make a guess? Let me give it away. 16,000. And remember, he has been accumulating all that he has been earning. So it's double of that minus 1 cent. So kind of 32,000 and some. That's only 32,000. But imagine, it started with 1 cent. And then soon it was doubling, like 16,000 became 32,000 the next day, and 65, and 100,000 crossed over. Oh my goodness. By the 20th day, he had superseded his brother. It had gone over in cents, I mean, millions in cents, okay? But still, it's like the brother is now beginning to see oh boy, I get it. I should have chosen that, because what he got was a lot on one day and then 0. But this little fellow started with 1, and it's doubling and doubling and doubling till the end of the day. Even if I take it's a 30-day month, I mean, yeah, let's imagine it's 31 days. But it had in cents, it had gone over $1 billion. And so it's like $10 million. Let me give you $737,418.23 total. So at the end of the month, their dad was nearly passing, and the sons finally came to him. And he was like, what is the lesson that you learned, sons, from this? Of course, he would leave, you know, although he's giving away to charity, he would still have some more for them. But the sons then realized that a lot on one day and then very little or nothing, or a little every day, and how to make it grow. Here it grew in what we call geometric progression, you know, it added, doubled. But in love or in a habit that we want to inculcate, if we just make it grow some, in whichever way we think growth is, if we keep making it grow and we accumulate and keep that storehouse of what we have been working on, what does it become? It's an immense possibility in life, in every aspect of life. That was the parting message of the father. That is, I taught you with money because I'm a rich man. I could give you this tool with money, but you can apply it in every way you choose. I leave it to your wisdom, sons, and it'll keep growing through your life of unlimited number of, not unlimited, but unknown number of days. I mean, coming from this, you may have heard this story because, you know, I kind of, this is a version of this same story, One Grain of Rice, which many of you have read it to your children. I know Esperanza has. And the original story is actually in the book by George Gamow, you know, the funny and famous scientist. George Gamow wrote the 1, 2, 3 Infinity book. And he has mentioned that there was a king who wanted to give a prize to the man who had invented the chess game. Okay, so what gift do you want? And he said, Your Majesty, I don't want much, but just the 64 squares, you can put 1 grain of wheat on one, and then 2 and 4 and 8, just keep doubling till all the squares are done. And the king said, wow, that's a small prize. I mean, he's smart to invent that game of chess. He has brains, but he doesn't know how to get a good reward. Man, so he ordered a big bag of rice to be brought in the court and said, well, let's start it. Let's begin. And very soon, you now have an idea, till day 30, if it could be so much, by day 64, you know how many grains of wheat that was? More than the entire country of India could produce that year. It's this number. Ooh, not billions or trillions. It's like gazillions and whateverilions. You know, it's in multiple. So the formula, the geometric progression is like it went all the way to 2 to the power of 63 and added to all the previous ones. The king was on his knees. Shouldn't have played around like that with a chess maker, you know. Says that, forgive me, you know, I had pride. I'm humbled now. And he said, King, can you distribute this, whatever you have accumulated so far as per wheat, can you give it to the subjects who are hungry now? So coming to that, and what Esperanza said about Valentine, you know, I know friends who have gone through life-changing, you know, incidents in their life, lost loved ones, and Valentine is such a painful process. Even Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year, all the greeting and joy and gift giving, and then Valentine, those red hearts and chocolates. Every store, even a grocery store, becomes a painful visit. So should we cling to the past, or should we empower ourselves into this daily increasing, doling out more love, more giving in a big way? Which one it will be a wiser healing journey for us? We like to look at the past. We are afraid of the future in perspective of the past. But if we look at it independently, I think it will become a beautiful journey every single day. So, Esperanza and I were talking, and I think you would be the best person to take, from here about your personal journey of learning from, you had grief at some point through Valentine, and how you kind of slowly you are rising, and there's no finish line as we're telling the stories. Friends, we are not like been there, done that, mastered it. No, we are also learning, and we wanted to share that with you. And Esperanza has a beautiful thing to share with you here.
Thank you, Balaka. Thank you. So I wanted to share with you a little bit, that's another perspective about this idea of love and how we infuse that in everydayness. And for me, it is about giving and sharing that love, but it's a lot of learning. This whole life journey has just been a lot of learning. So I am healed about this piece of my life, but that doesn't mean that there isn't always additional types of experiences that we have, that we encounter, and we understand that we're growing and healing. Because we all have had different kinds of conditioning. We've all had different types of belief systems that we've acquired, oftentimes not because they're our belief. So hold on one second. I'm just going to make sure that I can go back into this.
Yeah, no, you're the host, but it's not, you are already, so that's good then.
Yeah. So, I think we can go in this way. Then if I can just switch it to here. So I'm just moving this around for a minute. Okay, so back to the story. In my own experience, I had a previous marriage of 30 years with this partner and 25 years of being married. And those first few years were very difficult during the holiday season. And I think that that's pretty accurate for a lot of people, especially if they've had that kind of a long-term marriage, because we had 4 children as well. And there were a lot of pieces that were connected to the past, like what Balaka was saying, and those parts of the attachments, the belief systems that were interwoven with failure. Somehow the marriage hadn't worked out. In my mindset, what seemed inconceivable for many years, that just would never happen, and that the family would come apart. Those kinds of things, and really at that time not understanding till later that I was married to being married. So it was an identity, a component of identity, a component of ego, a component of this is what I believe myself to be. But it was through that experience and in those holidays of those, relating to that whole idea that Balaka shared with the grief, the attachment still to the past pieces, not being ready to let go or willing to let go. And that is what perpetually kept compelling me to feel that suffering. And in no way am I trying to say that I know what anyone's journey is, or that what you need to specifically be doing for your experience if you're out there, or someone out there having that. I'm just sharing with you from my experience, and the fact that through that experience, I had to somehow make a different connection with what I now understood wasn't all the belief system of love that I had. So this is the part that's beyond the Valentine, infusing into everydayness, because I had to wake up every day and face those pieces of myself that felt very broken and scattered, and pick them up and tend to them and care for them and learn to love myself in a way that I had not known before. And it was really a very profound and beautiful experience. And for me, it was like an initiation into more understanding. And it reminds me of a quote of Rumi's, who says, to find the beloved, you must become the beloved. And that's what it was for me. It was finding and encountering myself. Who was Esperanza? Who am I? And being able to come back into this moment of truly embracing and loving myself. And I would venture to say that for many of us, because of our experiences and the conditioning, whether it's from our family or our immediate surroundings from our communities or culturally, society imposes a lot of different kinds of conditioning upon us. And a lot of times we're not even conscious of that. And then we have these kinds of experiences like what I just shared with you in that little piece of a part of my life story. And all of a sudden it becomes very clear and you become very aware because you have to do this deeper questioning within yourself. So for all the journeys that we're on and whatever they are, it's never not a time to be loving yourself and to be the beloved, loving out into the world. So I'd like to share with you a little guided meditation tonight. And you can close your eyes, you can leave them open, however you feel comfortable, you can watch. But this is a moment that you can take in a little practice. This is one practice. Of course, there's many, and it's a beautiful thing when we can share like this because we can come into learning something else or maybe embellishing or enhancing something we're already doing. But this particular guided meditation is one that you can just begin every day to infuse that little bit of love and come into your center. You can place your hands in this prayer gesture at your heart. And we'll start out just with 3 deep breaths, enough to fill up your belly, and then exhale and release it so that it's all emptied out. And we'll start there. And then if you can just be guided by my voice, if you have your eyes closed, we'll take in a deep breath. It's about the count of 3 or 5, and just hold it at a pause at the top, and then release slowly through our mouth. Maybe down to 5. In breath, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, and then an out breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, and another in breath just like that. And release. Now you can just place your hands across your heart, this being your heart chakra, or this center here that has so much energy and emits love, is the seed of love. And then just be aware of your breath. And this time when you inhale, you can say to yourself or whisper it or say it silently. As you inhale, I am. And on the exhale, my breath. And 2 more times, just like that. I am. My breath. I am. My breath. You want to make that connection with that breath, that being like spirit or love. And on this next inhale, you can use I am love. And just feel that permeating all your being. I am love. The warmth around you, the connection you have with love. Breathing in that love one more time. and holding that. Like you're hugging yourself, comforting, giving yourself all that you need because you have all that you need. The exhale. Breathing in love. Letting go, releasing love out into the world. Stay with that for just another second and see what comes up for you. Bringing back your hands to your center, this prayer gesture. I thank you for sharing that space with me. And I'd like to open it up right now to be able to share some insights, perhaps something from the story that you heard, or ask questions. This is a beautiful time to do that.
Yeah, it felt so beautiful. You know, in yoga, they call it yoga nidra, where you do this on lying down, and the brain is so powerfully anchored inside that whatever you want to instill inside you, it stays. It becomes a part of you. So that was amazing. Thank you so much, Esperanza.
Thank you. Thank you. And sometimes we think about practices and, in our day and age, because we're in these modern times and they tend to be so busy, we're often, I don't have time. I don't have time to do these things, But these kinds of practices are so simple, and there's something so easy that we can infuse into our daily life as a mindful practice. And a
Right.
mindfulness to care for ourselves. So I just wanted to share that kind of exercise as you wake up in the morning or when you're going to sleep at night, and unwinding and going into that dream time space, that time when the unconscious has a chance to come up and inform us of our life, our journey. That is a beautiful time to be going into your sleep in that way too.
And I love what you said, Esperanza, about, kind of being in that space. And I don't know, maybe I'm not able to word it the way as beautifully as you said it, that I feel that those who are feeling that being the beloved, and also those who want to love and give love, get enjoyment from that giving. We often find, like you said, that we keep saying we don't have time because our list of these are the things that need to be done in order for me to feel accomplished, in order to feel that I'm doing what I need to be doing. There's always that hankering to find that anchor. And often pausing to do what you did, that guided meditation, and there are many YouTube links or many other CDs that are being sold, or on Spotify too, that you can actually go in, and many of your things on your to-do list just fall off like leaves in fall. Whatever that didn't need to be there, it's a very good litmus test for yourself, that what is core to me stays with you after these meditation. And if you go back to your to-do list, it might look a lot less cluttered to find more time to do guided meditation.
Yes, absolutely. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to ask or talk about or share themselves? Because I think, again, it's in this imparting that we do that we see the vulnerabilities, the common places that we all share as human beings in this experience, in this life journey that we're going through.
Right. It's not flat. It's an interactive session where we are all growing like a high tide, of our synergy together, where everyone rises.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I just wanted to add
Yes.
that for me, and through my faith, I just I've found that during this time where there's been so many great changes, I've had to take extra time. And so I appreciate what you all just mentioned. You have to take that extra time so that you can kind of, I always say, I need the time to kind of meditate, pray, so that I can collect my thoughts and get into the right mental space, especially with so much that has happened. And it's helped me greatly. And actually, one thing that I did around the holidays was, my sister told me to do it, was create a grateful list. And so I made a list of 100 things that I'm grateful for. I'm just I'm just missing 4 things. So that has helped me greatly. So I just wanted to mention that, and that's a very good thing that you all just mentioned. Just it's so crucial now more than ever to really cherish self-care. It's so important for your well-being.
Dawn, thank you so much. That's a beautiful share, and I absolutely 100% agree with you. I think that collectively, in terms of not just individually in our own personal lives, but I think the consciousness collectively is recognizing that. And, you know, be it that that's the silver lining in the whole pandemic situation, but there's a blessing out of that that comes to us because it's a bit of reclaiming life that is a very intrinsic part of being able to experience life in this fullness. You were mentioning about collecting your thoughts, whether it's that you perceive it that way or that you're grounding yourself, but whatever it is that you're doing, you're bringing something of your presence, like right there in that moment to face what it is. And we're doing that because we're, you know, experiencing like being bombarded with all these things that we have to adjust and change and shift and do all these things. And it's, right, it's almost like, how am I going to catch the air, right? And the way to do that, and the way to do that is take that deep breath, breathe in.
And take that extra time. Take the extra time.
Find the core, you know, to do that and to be able to be strong and meet that moment. So I thank you so much for sharing that. That's very powerful, and I'm so happy to hear you saying that. And I'm hoping that you're sharing that with everyone that you know that listens to that or that is going through those moments that you were describing of, you know, having to be able to collect yourself.
And the gratitude, you know, the feeling of gratitude, slowly it becomes an everydayness again. Every morning you'll feel grateful for so many things, grateful to so many people, grateful to so many forces that kind of aligned for, even for the littlest thing that are happening. It becomes like an ongoing journey, that gratefulness. And the way, you know, Dawn, you said that we have to make time for ourselves. I kind of look at it like watering the tree. Again, in Indian spirituality, they say that instead of watering every single leaf in an oak tree, all you have to do is water the base. So that way, you don't have to worry about all the leaves. The same thing in life. If we water the core, which is our meditation and our loving service, and for some it is the big spirit or the super consciousness or God, however you may look at it, you know. But once we water the core, nourish the core, every little thing gets the vibration from it, gets the nourishment transferred to it. And the more we do it, the more we see it happen. And in that analogy, you know, there is no overwatering. It's more the merrier all the time.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you. T. Go ahead and
I
unmute
see. Yeah, I see Mr. Ahuja here.
T was getting ready to, she had raised her hand. T, yes.
Okay. Oh, I just want to
Thank
say
you,
this
T.
stuff. Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you, T.
Okay, perfect, because I just have to leave in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
I just want to say Valentine's Day is my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. But the reason why I'm sharing this with everyone is because...
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Esperanza, thank you for shedding light in regards to grief, because I never looked at my birthday as being a holiday where individuals grieve. I always looked at it, okay, you know, people grieve on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, but I never in a million years would assume that a person actually grieve on Valentine's Day, because it's the holiday where you celebrate love. But you know what? People need love and they grieve if they don't have it.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you for the eye opener. It actually makes me want to give out more love now.
Right on. Right on.
Yes, because I'm always spreading love, but now just to hear your insight and your perspective, it's more that's needed in this world. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Hey,
Thank you.
we can all keep just giving and giving that love, because that's what you all know. This world needs so much of it, you know.
Yes.
So there's never a stop to that. You just let that keep moving out, and that's why I do believe that it's important to find this time, like what Dawn was saying, to take the time, all these practices, because the more we infuse our lives with love, the more we can emit that to others, and do it in a way that's you know, really from this place that's not attached to what those concepts are about what love is, but it moves freely through us because we're loving ourselves. It absolutely then begins to trigger empathy and compassion and things of that nature, because we're going to go meeting those places within ourselves, and that fullness that we fill ourselves up with that love, then we can give that out in a really freeing way for others. All kinds of things. Even, you know, I find myself giving it out, especially to situations, conditions out there that I might not understand or agree with, or that maybe in other times caused fear for me. That's how I can embrace it. That's how I can wrap around it, and I can meet it in a more fearless way, in a more sure way, because I can anchor myself. And that's the practices that I have of this feeling that has been growing in my own life journey of well-being, to be the beloved. And that's a fullness that cannot be taken away.
Awesome.
You better preach. You better preach, Esperanza. Thank you so much.
Thank
You know,
you.
we have to find time for ourselves. It's like the oxygen mask, you know, they always tell the parent to put it on and then assist the child or anyone else who needs the help. So I always wondered, why should I wear it first before helping? That's so selfish. But as I grew up, I realized that if I don't take care of my oxygen level, I will not be able to do a good job in helping others. So this meditation is like our oxygen mask, that we work on ourselves, and then we can help many others to get, you know, into that spirit or help. Yeah. So,
I want to say thank you, because I'm going to leave because I teach and I got to do work. But I want to first say thank you. And I'm glad I was able to participate. And I want to end by saying you all said something really valuable, which is great. You can learn from everyone. But I like what was just said too. I like the part where you just said that you have to water your core, which is, oh my God, that's very true. And then calling your birthday a holiday, which I really like. I really like that, because that makes me think this time, some people call it a time of pause, has forced me to look at myself, look at a lot of things and just life period. And it's forced me to appreciate the simple things, you know. And for my birthday, you know, normally I'll try to go, you know, do all of these things, but I just said, you know, God help me just focus on the little things, the things that I can do. So I said, I'm gonna celebrate myself. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because all of that, it makes a huge difference. It really does. And it goes back to love, loving yourself and others. Yes, so thank you.
Thank you,
all.
Dawn. I'm so thankful that you're here and that you shared that. Thank you. Thank you for that wisdom.
Thank you for coming. It was very valuable, Dawn, your presence.
Thank you
You
so
all
much.
have a great night
You too.
and have a great weekend.
Blessings.
Same to you.
So just, I know that we're getting closer to the end of our time, and I wanted to share a little bit just as far as the series goes, because we just launched this series and we're going to be carrying the series out for, hello, we're going to be carrying the series out for over the whole year, and we have different stories and topics and themes that we're going to be working on, but certainly we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear the kinds of things that you would like to be hearing. You can find more of what Prayer Esperanza offers as a nonprofit organization, our resources, the blog that we have. Balaka has beautiful insights there with some of the pieces that she's wrote. There are other guest writers. There's a community. They offer different services as well. You can see all the different people that are certainly inspiring and are inspiring others with their work, and that we can nourish ourselves with these kinds of experiences and services that are offered. And also to look at our page where we tell our story. You can see the board on there and what the board is bringing to it, and the vision, the mission of what we're trying to do with this organization, to really meet people in whatever part of their well-being journey they're on, and being able to meet it in a way that we can embrace the diversity of how we're all journeying on this life path, and all these core things that we experience as human beings, and how to merge and integrate body, mind, and soul. So we also have a YouTube channel. There's webinars on there from last year, which was in the Art of Living series. You can also look at our shop, which has support resources and tools and aids that we can use for our journey of well-being, and there's going to be more added to that. So we're going to continue to grow, and we're working to grow as a digital presence. So we hope that you'll join us there to be inspired, to find tools and resources for yourself in your own unique custom experience of life, and this thing that we call love too, like we're talking about tonight. So Balaka, I didn't know if you wanted to share a little bit more about where they can connect with you and find you as well.
Right. Thank you, Esperanza. Well, I'm in your community page.
Yes.
That is one place where you can go to and find my information. And also I have the best way to connect is through thegreenwriter.com. It's pretty easy, The Green Writer, and I'm going to put it on in the chat as well.
Perfect.
And yeah, and otherwise, it's my first name dot last name at gmail.com. That's pretty simple too. You'll have to write down my spelling.
Yes. Yes.
So, and we will keep, meeting, and I'm so thankful to Esperanza to have me on the board and have my blogs up there, and also to plan this storytelling, which I feel will keep growing better and bigger with more insights from all of you, and also what you want from or expect from this these episodes, so we can include more stories, personal and the ones that are there in the world for everyone. So being said that, I think that's about all from me as far as getting in touch is concerned. Okay, so I think Mr. Rahuja's whole family is there, from father.
Yes, yes, yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and then I hope that you'll come next month and that you'll experience some more of the stories, and just the beauty of stories that can reach us and touch us in so many places, and that we can reflect upon later, so that we can further integrate those pieces that resonate with us, that speak to us and to our heart, to the journey that we're on.
Right. Thank you so much,
All
everyone.
right. Have a beautiful evening, everyone. Thank you for being here.